Welcome back to Hybrid Theory. I'm Aurian Archive, and we're picking up with Idle Champions, and I have successfully crossed over 218, and we'll check our trials of Mount Tiamat, and check our challenges, and see currently Celeste, complete an adventure in area 200 or above, with Celeste as the highest damage dealer, so we'll go ahead and complete this adventure, and continue. Alright. Before we actually go and check and see whether or not Trials of Mount Tiamat completed, uh, up here, real quickly, that's the beta disclaimer for multi-party beta and Modron automation. I'm not sure what Modron automation is, but I'll get to it eventually. Anyways, so if you are first starting Idle Champions, you will have a grand tour of the Sword Coast. And you'll get something like this. It'll give you water-deep detours, underground cartography, the Silken Swamp. And you'll see this formation here. Now, those formations will become important. But what's important to note here is the number in the formation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You only have, for a Grand Tour of the Sword Coast, 9 characters. Come down, next one is Tomb of Annihilation. And we see that our formation has changed. We now have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. We got 10 slots. Water Deep Dragon Heist. Here we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 10 slots. And this is the thing that really changes between formation from formation. Is that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, so 5, 10. Is that each of these different maps will have a different number of slots arranged in a different uh, pattern. And the minimum I've seen so far is 9 slots in a Grand Tour of the Sword Coast, and everything else has always had 10 slots. Now, if you are just starting out playing the game and all you have is 9 slots, you may feel very cramped and constrained, and you won't be able to really go very far or very deep because you will not be able to create a. There is a limit to how effective the party you can create is. Now, the party that I do have for Water Deep Detours, we'll go ahead and load in here real quick, and we'll go with Ramp 3. And we'll change this to bulk to per level. All right, this is what's termed my ramp 3 build. Let's make sure we're on ramp 3. And screw it. Empowered, fire, luck, assassin. Alright, and the reason why, there are multiple different character types in Idle Champions. And for the most part, the character types can be boiled down into healing support, DPS support, tanking support, support gold. And you want to pay attention to the different abilities that different characters have. And this particular the reason it's called ramp, and actually there's Q ramp. Do I have any other ramps? Okay, Q ramp, ramp 3. Okay, I don't see. A couple of characters you can get. Black Viper. And over here, Porogar. We'll just swap in Porogar so we can look at him real quick. Porogar has an ability as he gets up. His we haven't gotten to any outgoing effects yet, so let's get him some levels. And we'll swap Daedalus for Black Viper. Alright. Let's see, what was in bulk? Oh, bulk 3 already had them. Okay. Bulk 3 was my ramping build. We'll swap that back to X1. Okay. Outgoing effects, marking of Zealot. Whenever a Torgar, an adjacent champion, or any evil champion kills an enemy, Torgar gains a Zealot stack. And stacks persist through resets. Torgar's damage is increased for each Zealot stack he has collected, additive, and stack persists through resets. Basically what this means is that the more you use Torgar, the more damaging he becomes, period. And in this case, next Blood Rage bonus at 10,000 stacks, and he's currently at 46,000 stacks. So while this is then a ramp character, the more you use him, the more powerful he becomes. If you keep putting him in build after build after build, or formation after formation after formation, he keeps ramping up the overall bonuses that he brings to the team. Black Viper is another long-term ramp character, and her thing is Jewel Thief. And Jewel Thief is 25% chance red gem will drop from a boss loot sack. Each red gem and the current adventure grants a 10% damage. Each red gem collected across all adventures permanently unlocks additional bonuses. So total gems collected on all adventures, 541, 10, next bonus, at 800 gems. So Black Viper is another one. She starts out fairly weak compared to everyone else for the same level. And if I swap her back with Daedalus over here, Dadius, she will collectively be less powerful than him. But you use her more, you put her in more formations, and the more powerful she becomes overall. Then you have a second type of ramp character, and that's a character like Walnut. Walnut has a power called Documancer, and he increases the damage of all champions for every enemy that's defeated within the area. Now this makes Walnut very, very powerful in late run builds, because if you are trying to rack up on favor, on the deity's favor, and you are easily defeating one mob, but the next mob you go to may be just a little bit difficult. If you can just defeat at least one enemy, Walnut's Documancer buff may just be enough to put you over, and then keep defeating the next enemies until you can level your characters up and gain a little bit more damage to move on to the next area. So Walnut is very, very powerful as a ramp crack. If you can just crack open the enemies, Walnut will sustain that higher level damage for you. That makes him very desirable. And you'll see Walnut in, well, at least a lot of my formations. Another type of ramp character is, we'll go over here, and I want Jaheria, sorry. Jaheria, her thing is, she has, first of all, an upgrade path. So, focus her support on hybrid spell melee classes, melee attacking classes. Now, since I know that we've got some paladin rangers and druids and bards in this bunch, and then her next one is she ramps depending on what we're fighting. Now, for the most part, we'll X out of here for a second. We're looking for bandits in here. So we're probably, if we swap to Protection of Civilization, Jemilia will now get a boost off of every, she keeps track of the number of enemies that she killed, and after 20 protected enemies, she flies into Battle Age, and this continues to stack. So if we look at Battle Rage, or Lingering Anger, it increases damage of herself for each stack of Lingering Anger. These stacks persist until you're reset. So if you swap Jaheira into an enemy that you will be facing a lot in a campaign, she will ramp up very powerfully across the length of the campaign. And those ramp characters are very important to keep in mind if you're going deep. You're looking at 600, 700 levels down. That's a lot of enemies and a lot of bosses. And another ramp character, and again, someone who shows up in a lot of my formations because of his ramp, is Nova and Curiosity and Discovery. Now, if you were doing a short-term run, there's two different modes that I already clicked through. You have journaling, and then you have the mass. Journaling increases the bonus that Nova gives to the top five intelligence, the top five intelligent in the party, or you can spread out the bonus of discovery across all enemies. It's just not buffed as much. Well, if you're going quite deep on an adventure, you're 700 levels down. You really probably are going to benefit from all of your teammates getting discovery. So there's different kinds of considerations to be made here in the characters that you are putting together and making. And it's one of the things I really love about Idle Champions, is that it really makes the player consider the battle formation and how a seemingly weak character, who may not be very good now, can be a very good character for other circumstances. And then we have the modifications, where in this one, don't look up. A random spider drops down from a web above a formation slot. Poisoning champion in the slot, reducing their damage by 99%. Supply run, no restrictions, so I could actually finish that one. Looking over at Tomb of Annihilation, cramped quarters, only dwarves, gnomes, kobolds, halflings, and goblins can be used. So if you have a very limited range of characters, you might not be able to complete this mission, even if it says difficulty easy. If you've only got one dwarf and one gnome, you're going to have a hard time getting to area 225. I have significantly more than that, so I could probably blow through this without a problem. And this is one of the other things where when you are starting out, the easiness of a run is determined almost solely by the amount of favor that you have with the deity in question. And if you have a low amount of favor, you're going to have a difficult time. You need favor to. This is something where I need to go into it later, and I probably will. Right now, I'm just going to set up a. Right now, I'm really trying to ramp up. How do I swim down? The Dead 3. Yeah. I'm kind of working on ramping up Tiamat's blessings. And this is, we'll go to Century 1. And let our characters populate. And quickly fill in everything that's... This is already... let's check in here and make sure, yep, we got that last challenge. Okay. Alright, so... favor. The more favor that you get is translated directly into the amount of gold that you find. The amount of gold that each enemy drops lets you level up your character. So the more gold bonus you have, the quicker you can level up a formation, choose your benefits, feats, bonuses, and just get cracking on with the rest of the mission. So that's one of the things that you really have to focus on, is going back and replaying the free plays over and over just to ramp up the deity's favor. And there are a number of characters who you will be using a lot the first time around. You will be using either Jarxel or Paulton because they have a significant gold bonus. you will probably be using freely a lot because he has a gold bonus. Basically, anyone who gives you plus gold is probably going to be your go-to to use. But when you get to a point where you have enough deity's favor, you can trade off your gold characters for someone who's a little bit more powerful. In this case, I don't need freely anymore to get deeper in this dungeon. I have plenty of deity favor, so I've swapped into Ketibri. Ketibri. Ketibri, yeah? I'm not sure how her name is said. Anyway, Idle Champions really deserves a more in-depth look than what I'm giving it right now, and eventually I will come back to this because there's a lot to like about this game and how it implements a pen and paper rule set that makes it easier to explain pen and paper role-playing to people who have, maybe bought the fear, uncertainty, and doubt about using your imagination and participating in a role-playing adventure. This is one of the best implementations of a pen and paper role-playing role set that I've played as a game. And that's really saying something, in credit to the developers. The other thing, real quickly, my cat's eye. It's a little watery, and he's squinting through it. But doesn't appear to be any scratches or anything else wrong with it, so keep an eye on that, no pun intended. And the other thing, the headset. As I said, part of this was an audio test with the Velodyne V-Bold, and what I have discovered on, at least in respect to Microsoft Windows platforms, and I kind of confirmed this on using an older Android phone, that this was, I'm trying to remember, what is this? Umidigi 1 Plus. Wow. No, not the 1 Plus. 1 Pro? Umidigi 1 Pro? Yeah, so I think this was 1 Pro. So it's kind of an older platform. Anyway, so the Velodyne has two different modes of operating. It has a hand-free AG mode in which the speakers go mono and are fed a single 16-bit CD quality channel, and the microphone gets a single 16-bit CD quality channel. Or it has a stereo mode in which the microphone is turned off and you get stereo 2-channel 16-bit CD quality audio. And if you are at least under Windows 10 or Windows 11, you have to go into Settings. You have to do Settings, Sound, Settings. You have to go to Settings, System, Sound, Manage Sound Devices under Input. And you have to go down to Headset, and it'll be something like Velodyne V-Bold Hands-Free AG Audio, and you have to turn that off. You have to go in and disable it in order for the stereo music to connect. Now, in fairness, this does actually put the Velodynes over Bluetooth are kind of comparable to the other gaming headsets that I have, but I also found out something else that was rather interesting that I didn't realize because I thought these headsets were too old. But the Velodyne V-Bolts actually do support aptX encoding. So they actually do get a comparable final audio format decoding that is in line with both my Razor Kraken Kitty Edition and the SteelSeries Arctic 1, which is kind of impressive for a Bluetooth headset of their age. And I was actually a little shocked when the AppDex logo kicked in, and then the AppDex check came back with, uh, yes, AppDex does appear to be being broadcast and does appear to be being decoded successfully. Weird. I didn't think these had. I thought these were too old to support it. But quick check of the manual, and yes, it's in there. So that was interesting. No, I'm not going to be moving the Velodynes back into a regular rotation. They're really just kind of. I like them too much to get rid of them. But I've been over that before. So that's kind of think all the things I had to talk about. I'll be back probably later and probably going back to streaming the Rift Breakers.